Let us know when you can see and hear us.
Well, I should probably get to the right chat.
Yeah, you know.
Oh, hey, look, there we are.
Yeah.
Hey,
We
How
look
you doing?
good.
is my good side or that my good side?
It's all the good side, darling.
What's the name of the channel that we talk in? AIE
Podcast.
AIE Podcast. Well, thank you, Max. We do.
Good Lord. Grammar.
What's wrong?
I
Oh,
can't
shoot. Why don't
remember.
I actually put in the episode number right here?
Oh,
see.
on this episode. Yeah. All right.
On episode this on 25, 6, 2, 1.
Mew
I
is
changed
leading this,
ESO. I changed ESO to Final Fantasy, so it'll be good.
No. All right.
On the internet's #1 MMO, Final Fantasy. No.
Oh. Good Lord. If I see one more advertisement for Terra Online, I swear that is the worst
around?
advertising.
I've not seen these yet.
They're
I know. I when it
Think
was new.
Japanese anime directed at males.
What's Korean anime?
Oh, I'm familiar with Terra,
Yeah.
but
I think-
I've not seen any of their recent marketing.
Oh, they're
I'm
getting
Mr.
bad.
When it was brand new, I think Mr. Johnson put it best that it's a MMO with a lot of people's first experience to Cyboob.
Yes.
It's basically like there's characters in that game that basically like. Can you imagine the Lullafell but creepier?
Right.
Oh, I know.
Like the panda,
I know.
like the panda race. That's a thing. Like oh no, it's not panda. It's like a rodent.
Yes.
Like a almost not like a rat, more like a
A badger.
yeah.
All right.
I don't know. I've logged into it on my PlayStation. I was like, hey,
No.
this game plays better on my PlayStation than my $2,000 laptop.
Yeah. All right. Mew, when you are ready, the chat room recognizes us, so all you.
That's good if they recognize us.
I know.
We're not strangers.
Well,
We don't think.
yeah. If they are, what are they doing? If we are, what are they doing in the chat?
Maybe they're new.
All right.
True. And if you are new, welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
If we're just having to do a Twitch roulette and you found us, ta-da! Lucky you.
Oh,
We're nerds.
Yeah.
We're talking about things.
This is on,
Right there. Looks like I'm looking at the
and we're streaming this off of Sesami's channel, right?
Yep.
I just want to take. Okay.
I have the same annoying Google washout when I put them on.
Yeah.
AIE channel hosting.
You
Oh,
need
yeah.
what is it? Dark theme for Google Docs. That's what
Yeah.
we need.
That'd be lovely.
Yeah.
I'm experimenting with the new Microsoft Edge, which I haven't really seen anything
The one
special
drive with
about
the
it.
Chrome engine. Yeah.
Yeah, it's essentially just Microsoft Chrome.
Yep.
Yes. which makes it. But without all the. Instead of Google gets all your information, Microsoft gets all your information.
Right.
So either
no.
way,
Actually, they
someone's
both do.
well, somebody's got to know.
Yeah.
Someone's got to know about you. I mean,
Yep.
All right.
All right.
let's do this.
Yep.
Oh, one test real quick. Can you hear this?
Yes.
Okay, then we're good to go.
All righty.
Put that there. We'll put chat here.
All right. Starting in 5, 4, 3, 2. On this episode of the AIE Podcast.
The gates are open.
Check out B. Kavanaugh's Conquest Calculator.
Say that 5 times fast. House Hunters, ESO style.
Life's a beach. Join STO on Risa while you listen to us.
And we have Abavan and Duras who are here to talk to us about AIE in Final Fantasy XIV.
All that and more coming up right now.
bringing you the latest news from the AIE gaming community from planet Earth and beyond. This is the AIE Podcast.
And welcome to episode 349 of the podcast celebrating you, the AIE gaming community. The Die Has Been podcast. This is Mewcow. Greetings, guildies. And to my virtual left is Makala.
Hey guys, there's a cheese souffle and raspberry scones in the guild kitchen.
Tasty.
Yummy.
And then to virtual right is Tetsemi.
I have spreadsheets because I've got 2 games I'm working on, so spreadsheets galore.
And this week we are joined by special guests Abovan and Duras, who are here to talk to us about AIE and Final Fantasy XIV. Welcome.
Hi there.
Hello. And anything else you want to talk about too, really.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The Division.
We play lots of games.
Yeah.
Well, since it'll be 2 hours just talking about Final Fantasy XIV,
Okay, Abovin's here.
but let's start with.
Do we have a
what's going
screen
on.
that says, have you gone to the washroom, get your snacks and drinks
Right.
prepared
Right.
for cutscenes?
Yeah.
Let's
on your
talk
mission.
the body. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's start with who's first on everyone's screen is probably Abovan, and tell us what you've been up to.
So, playing Final Fantasy 14.
Surprised.
Dipping my toes back into 11 for a little bit, just for weird stuff, because for a game that launched prior to WoW, they just released a new story-based patch. They're adding more story content to a 22-year-old, something like that.
Yeah.
It's like it can like this game can drink now. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first MMO.
Right.
Really?
So it's
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, it was a job. It was an 8 to 9 hour day job.
Jeez.
yeah, there's that has been nerfed quite a bit. It's not as hard as it used to be, but it doesn't have the modern conveniences such as a quest log. But for a Final Fantasy connoisseur as myself, I do like to play them all. Besides that, I got reintroduced to the back into the PC Diablo 3 season.
Nice.
So I've been playing around with that with a few folks. Already have a decent character on my Switch Diablo 3, but that game's not cross platform, so I want to play with AIE folk. Then made a character there and doing some stuff there, and been playing around with that. And also been dipping my toes into Destiny 2 on Stadia, which is the Google's cloud streaming service. I've been I'm a founder with that. I do like it for certain things. Like I don't have to have 80 gigs dedicated to my hard drive for that one game.
Right.
And my hard drive, my SSDs are coming a little bit of a premium of space now. So
Yeah.
I almost did that. Yeah, I was scared when I went to try it on Stadia, and it gave me all this warning. Things are going to happen if you do this. It's like,
Jeez.
okay, maybe I'll back away.
It had a rough start, but it's actually if you don't have a data cap, and you live in a country that is close to a Google data center, it's very good. But that data cap for a lot of people is real, and is a non-starter for those people. And if you live too far away from one of their data centers, the lag can be felt.
Gotcha.
From what I'm told, because I live close to a data center, so I'm good.
Awesome.
Yeah, you have to have a good bandwidth and ping yourself.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, that's what I've been doing besides
Awesome.
work.
Yay, work. All right, well then, let's see what's going on with Makala, since she is alphabetically C on the list.
Oh, I guess so, because it is under Cyberwave. All right.
Mhm.
Well, rolling dice, but of course, due to the coronavirus, they're virtual dice. We currently running our my 3 campaigns. This last on Wednesday, our Call of Cthulhu campaign. We're dealing with a haunted English mansion, which we've now found out. We're finally actually kind of getting into the weird Cthulhu stuff because, like, the first 4 adventures, we had, like, tertiary, just weird creatures, but now we're starting to kind of get into the Cthulhu stuff, and there's a haunted mansion that there's something in somewhere in there, and when you go into the mansion, you pass out because it's so terrifying. So we're exploring, and none of the investigators were able to stay awake. But when we got done, we got out of the mansion, like the nearby sheep had been destroyed by this unseen creature. So now one person's going to go in and the rest are going to lay a trap. And it's really fun because my dude Bestie joined our campaign, and he's playing choose his type for once instead of trying to be the strong, silent, fighty type. He just went right to the smart and charismatic. So I'm happy, and it's great because he's playing an heir. So when all else fails, we just throw money at stuff. So that's really fun because it's a very different system than any other game I've ever done, where you can bribe people quite easily. And if you have a problem, if you have a high enough roll, you can throw money at it. Well, when your roll's 99, you're almost always going to have a high enough roll.
Yeah.
So that's a really good time. But right now we are in, I don't know, December of 1938. So things are about to get real interesting.
It's not good.
It's not good. And we are now to the point where we're actually dealing with Nazi artifact hunters. So I'm excited. Yes. Raiders of the Lost Ark, baby, but with Cthulhu. Our Thursday game, I think we've done our 4th session of Escape into Inverness. So we're exploring Baldur's Gate, and we're kind of dealing with some various cults there. But yeah, we're 2nd level, so it's the baby stuff. It's fun. Kind of forget what it's like to go for like right. Go like from really high level to I have what do you mean?
2 spells.
Exactly. And wait, you mean I just have to take this damage and I can't dodge out of it? Playing a rogue. So, and then literally right before the podcast, my weekend game ended, and we are exploring the Pyramid of the Moon, and we are dealing with lots of undead and weird stuff and great mystical knowledge and dark gods. And so that's what I've been doing. I'm having fun. I'm finding it's a really great way to spend my time, since doing stuff in person is not happening. Have dipped my toes in a little bit into Final Fantasy 14, so that obviously doing the free trial, but enjoying that. It is really pretty.
One of us.
I know.
But we got to get her on the Goblin. Server.
I know.
Yeah.
I need to get in when Goblin's available.
Yeah.
But it's kind of nice just to focus on what I'm doing too. So, because I tend to be guess what, guys? I'm social.
And she gets lost easy.
Okay. So I need to ask this question because it's important for the future of this podcast.
Yes.
No.
Lalafell or no?
No.
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 You're missing out.
Okay.
Lalafell, best class.
Abbo,
best race, best everything.
you've met her in real life, right?
I am a fracking Lalafell. I'm not going to play one. I'm a 4'10" woman that looks like a child, even though she's almost 50. I'm not going to play a Lalafell.
That's right. Yeah.
So that's what I've been up to.
Sounds like quite the bit. Well, let's move on down to Duras and see what he's been up to.
You follow that, really. I mean,
With style.
With style, Petit, with style.
then Tet's better go next.
No. I've been married to the man for 23 years. I'm sorry.
Whoa! Wow!
I know.
Moment of silence for Tets.
Love you.
F in the chat.
F for respect. Been doing actually a lot of what Abbo's been doing as well. We all are homebodies these days, right?
We are.
I also got bit by the Stadia bug a little bit. He gave me one of his buddy codes, so I had been checking it out, and I do have a relatively good connection. And as he mentioned, it does save you on disk space.
Yeah.
I actually beta tested that when it was called Project Stream from Google, and they were I think they were doing Assassin's Creed Odyssey was the game they were having you test, and it felt like I was playing it locally. I mean, it was pretty good. Now Destiny, I think that was a little rough early on. I'm not sure if it's gotten better yet, but yeah. So I've been, as you know, for Nomads, I do Destiny, Division 2, Diablo, all the Ds basically. The Durus games.
Nomad.
Yeah, the games. So I've been doing some Diablo. I usually dive in every season. Got in a little late this year. Shout out to our friend Rona. He always power levels us every season.
Right.
And it's a lot of fun. It's a mindless dive in. You don't have to focus or concentrate. You just murder stuff. It's it's pretty easy. Let's see. Oh, and by the way, also Dave, I saw you say that. I did have burritos. For dinner though. So, but I use air freshener. Pretty nice actually. Let's see. So Diablo, been doing a little Division. You'll talk about that a little later. We've had a few new people coming on. We've had a little more activity there lately. Other than that, Final Fantasy, not as much as I would like lately. I don't. I did recently get gifted the Shadowlands expansion for WoW, which I don't know what to think. I don't know if it was a gift or just another way for them to make me want to hate myself. But
sometimes it's both. Sometimes it can be both.
But I did install and load up the game and went, dear God, the UE, right? Let's find an add-on. Went with Elv UI. That's always usually been pretty good for me.
Yeah.
Loaded it, looked around, checked my quest journal, logged out.
Yep.
I'm so lost. I don't know what's going on. I haven't played in 3 years. But I'll probably
the new expansion. Basically, just think of Shadowbringers, but for WoW. That's what the new expansion is going to be.
Yeah.
I've been doing a little reading, and they do actually seem to be taking some hints from Final Fantasy. So
a few.
Like the first hour
good on them.
Does the first hour of Shadowlands, does that require you to have therapy? What happens, just like what happens in the first hour of Shadowbringers?
No, thankfully not.
Yeah, but we are going to be reunited with a lot of long dead people. So
you think you need therapy now? just wait.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Oh, I've also been doing this. Getting back into this a little bit. This is an art tablet.
Oh, okay. Wonderful!
But so I've been playing around with my art. I may or may not have a webcomic come in at some point in the future. Let's see. Other than that, talking with the kids, families really interesting in these times, especially if they're not with you in the same house at the moment. Getting back to school, talking about homework, dreading online school, hoping that 7th grade doesn't have drama because all my girlfriends have their ex-boyfriends. And I'm like, I don't want to think about this.
Doesn't matter. 7th grade is drama.
Mm-hmm.
Which I know this, I realize this, but whenever you hear her talk about it, it's just like, oh yeah, that's right, 7th grade.
Yes.
Okay.
For ours, it was elementary school was K through 6, and then you go from being on top of the class to the bottom of the class back in 7th and 8th grade in middle school. And then you go to the top of the class, and then you hit high school, and you're back at the bottom of the class. So there's a lot of, where do I fit in this whole social structure? So she just opted out of all of it.
Yeah.
There you go. But other than that, trying to decide where Final Fantasy is gonna land for me, if I'll be able to really fully get back into that. But yeah, it's heating up. There's gonna be some stuff coming tomorrow,
Yeah.
right?
Some heartstrings
we'll,
getting pulled and
Well-
yanked and twisted.
Well, tomorrow, let's be technical here. Tomorrow, no one's doing anything.
Yeah.
We'll get to
Well,
we'll get to
right.
that.
There's
Yeah,
a
we'll
get-
24-hour
that.
maintenance. We're not doing anything
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah. Playing some other games.
But I'll leave you there. We'll move on to Mukau.
All right.
Actually, I'm going to shove it over to Tetsemi, and I'll go last.
Okay.
Oh.
So fairly quick. The reason I needed spreadsheets is Blizzard announced the initial changes they're doing with heirlooms, and basically they did a weird melding of they no longer give experience directly, but there's a set bonus now, so it's very much like a Diablo set where it's a 2-piece, 4-piece, 6-piece, and it boosts your rested experience for your alts as well as some other stuff. So I don't think this is going to be the final form. I'm sure there's going to be some other stuff added to it, but it's an interesting change. But I was trying to track
Yeah.
what I hadn't upgraded yet and what I needed to upgrade it. So now everything's sitting at current game 120, beta would be like level 50. So I've got all the stuff upgraded and taken care of. And then I got my Death Knight to 120. So that's taken care of. I think I have maybe 2 more characters I'm going to get to 120 just to explore all the covenants and stuff. And then Final Fantasy 14, made it through all my weapon upgrades. And now I'm starting to go back with the extra poetics and buy the augmented version, since it's just 100 poetics plus the weapon. Here's the augmented one. Now you have that for your collection. So did that, or in process of doing that. And I don't remember, we'll discuss it in the patch, but I couldn't remember if it was a new Beast Tribe quest or a new custom delivery coming out. So this is the last week, and I'll finish up the Yulemore delivery for the Beehive and be done with that. So that was pretty much my last thing I wanted to get done before the patch hit tomorrow in 14. So that's about it. And playing a very good board game with the family. It's called
Oh my
Escape
God.
Tales: The Awakening, and it's card-based with, you take action tokens to explore this room that gets set up. It's a 6x6
Escape room.
room. And it's escape room in card format with puzzles, and you check your answers on an app on the phone. And some of the puzzles are really
It's
good,
hard.
and some of them are like, no. This is-
Yeah, no,
this is
no,
really tough.
it's challenging but fun.
Yeah. Well, we sat down, we figured, oh, we'll just, play an initial game. We got like 2.5 hours in. We were just into the third room, and I looked at my daughter and said, what's the average play time on this? And she looked at the box and goes, oh, 180 to 360 minutes? I'm like, that would have been information to know before we sat down to play it at the end of the
Restarted.
night. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're
Aren't, like the real escape rooms like an hour at
Right.
most?
Yeah, yeah.
So we're like 4 rooms in now, and you get fewer and fewer action points. So eventually you're either going to run out of action and you have to start taking what are called, I think they're called Doom cards. And then they're either puzzles or they're negatively impact how you're playing, but you can do more actions. So it's really fun. It's just the puzzles drive you crazy, but in a good way. So what about you, Mew? What have you been up to?
Oh, a few things. Trying to keep the virtual con spirit alive, and I got a few cases of wild bills so that I can get that, at con experience at home. It's kind of interesting that they started selling that, but because, for example, QuakeCon has been going all weekend. So if you're into any kind of Bethesda stuff, they've been doing theirs on Twitch, so everyone could go for free.
I just want to add, if you haven't played it yet, the first Quake is free on the Bethesda Lodger in celebration of QuakeCon.
Ooh.
Fun.
Yep, we'll have to poke at that later, because one of the things I have been, of course, doing plenty of is Fallout 76, which is in the Bethesda the launcher, although I think, is it in Steam now? I want to say it's in Steam now. Yeah, because we're seeing a lot of, if you're in the game and you see someone's name that's just a bunch of numbers, that's a Steam player, because they haven't figured out how to show the Steam player's name yet. So you'll just be running around. It's like, your first reaction is like, is that a bot? What's with that name? It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, so yeah, it's kind of funny, but yeah, trying to keep up with the little board game that's there with the current season is trying to do, and I finally got ahead of the bad guy, so that means I'm at the right pace, which means I'll finish it before the board game's over at the end of the season. So I've been getting all kinds of little goodies in there, skins and lunch boxes. So that we've been wondering how they're going to show off the lunch boxes in the game, because someone data mined it ages ago, and they're like, oh, they're going to make us pay for these lunch boxes. Well, no, this is how they did it. Is one of the goodies is a lunch box. You open it up and a party favor pops out, and then it gives you an experience buff, and it modifies what's going on. Like, for example, one of the more popular ones is the, what do they call it? The confetti. Confetti poppers. So when you kill a monster, instead of exploding in blood, it explodes in confetti everywhere. So it's just kind of funny to see confetti all over the place in this this Fallout world is covered in this colorful confetti, which is kind of funny. But yeah, spending a bit of time there. Of course, spending time in WoW. Finally checked off the last bits of things. So I have my 4 characters at 120. I got the last one up and looked at the cloak and the neck, and it's like, maybe not. They're good. They're 20. They're 120. Right. It's fine. But as of Thursday, H&H did another Mythic Jaina run, and I managed to get the mount this time. So
nice.
That's one last check mark on that. We'll keep running that for a while, but that's as usual. We put out the call and bring some people in, and once we get the 20, then we do that Mythic Jaina thing. And for some strange reason, it always takes 6 or 7 tries. It's even though we've been doing this for weeks now, it's just there's something about it. Yeah, well, I mean, it's just all it takes is one thing to go wrong, and the whole thing just falls over.
Right.
Domino.
The cheese is Well, it's like the cheese line is like that narrow, and if you just step one line over, the whole thing falls apart. Yeah. So yeah, we'll keep doing that, but at least have that one last thing going. And then as of yesterday, I finally got back in and finished the Relic quest in Final Fantasy XIV. So I finally got that story finished. Yeah. And
that's the new one, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was a fun little bit of insight into Sid. So I enjoyed that.
That's a really cool quest line too.
Yes.
I am like foaming at the bit for the new stuff, which we'll get to soon.
Yes. And I don't know if you are going to talk about it later, but I liked how they basically introduced a trust, but for a trial.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So it was real sneaky and sly of them. But I like the way they did that. Yeah. There's some clever people over there. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. And and the last bit that I've been delving into for a kind of a funny reason I've been playing Red Dead Online. It's not my typical cup of tea. It's Old West themed and all that fun stuff, and it's almost completely PvP, but you can set yourself defensive. But I've been playing that because one of our nightly routines before we go to bed is we watch a little clip show called Highlight Reel from Kotaku, and it's every week they show, funny clips from games, and some of the ones that have made us crack up the most is just weird stuff happening in Red Dead. Because it's just it's you're in the Old West, and some Westworld looking glitches happen in this game, and it's just the funniest thing. And just coming across flying horses and just other weird things going on, and weird interactions with trains. Like it's pretty glorious when things go off the rails. A friend of mine I watched on their stream, they were just walking in their camp, and suddenly they turned into a very large gentleman, and were wandering around. And it was quite the change, because she has a pretty skinny female character and a very distinct look, and just you're now the skin collector guy. I think his name is Gus. Yeah, that was a very curious, but yeah, the hackers do some fun things in this game. Yeah, but yeah, that's probably enough from me. So we'll bring up.
I will add, I did try Red Dead online, actually, because on Stadia, when I was mucking around with that, they had it on sale, and with a coupon, I got it for $5.
Right.
Yeah.
My experience with that game, because I had never read about it, never watched it, never did anything. I got into town. I figured, I'll do the crafting, skinning, type stuff, and went out, got a bunch of skins, went back to town, was at the butcher selling the carcasses and whatnot. And I'm like, all right, how do I do this one thing? So I was out in the menus, and it's like, then I hear something going on, and I'm like, what's going on? So I eventually escape out or get out of all the menus, and I'm on the ground being hogtied, thrown onto some guy's horse, right? And then I did something where I spooked the horse, so the horse just takes off, just bolts. And the two guys that were there, I'm like level 6, right? And they're like level 300 something.
Right.
It's clearly PvP ganker nonsense.
Yeah. Yes.
But I managed to, you can wiggle out of the ropes. I managed to get out of the ropes, fall off the horse, call my horse, and get away. But I'm just like,
Nice.
I'm standing around trying to just sell meat to a butcher in the middle of town.
Yeah. No, that's
I'm getting kidnapped.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, and to follow up on that, so one of the unsafest places to be in this game is in front of the police station, because I don't know what it is, but you bring in a bounty, and there's like 5 guys waiting to jump you outside because the cops do nothing.
Right.
And you'd think the towns are towns are the least safe place to be, because that's where everyone's waiting to jump you.
Right.
Like, they were probably wanting to take your skins and sell them for themselves. Like, that's actually a thing in that game. Like, it's kind of a funny thing in that game. Like, you start the game and you are an outlaw. Like, there's no, like, you can try to be honorable, but the whole point is everyone there's an outlaw. So what are they going to do? Well, they're going to troll like mad.
Exactly.
Now Seema has a very important question, guys. Is there fishing?
There is.
There is fishing.
Yep.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, we need to make sure Sparrow knows.
Yep.
Yes.
Kenny, does Sparrow know?
Well,
remember,
that's enough.
use the buddy system when fishing, so people don't come and kidnap you.
Right,
Exactly.
right.
Oh, no. Oh, they still will. No, I found the only way to be safe in that game is to put yourself in defensive and to have a posse of at least 8 people around you at all times.
Hence the buddy system. Got it. All right.
Yeah.
Yes. But enough about that. We'll be digging into Final Fantasy XIV very shortly. But first, let's cover the rest of this week's news.
AIE News.
And we're going to start in community, and we're going to reiterate our mandatory fun night schedule, where the fun is mandatory, but attendance is not. Earlier today, Sundays, was the 2 p.m. Eastern WoW Classic, what do they call it?
Sunday Fun Day.
Sunday Fun Day.
Yeah, actual Sunday Fun Day. But going on right now, as of 7 minutes ago, STO started their 8:30 Eastern Fun Day. So go ahead and join them. As we said, they are probably rollicking around in Risa, playing on the beach. Sounds fun. Beaches. I remember beaches.
Things.
Yep. Mondays, Guild Wars 2 has their 9:30 p.m. Eastern Fun Night. And then on to Tuesday, SWTOR has a 9 p.m. Eastern or 8 p.m. Central max time a fun time. Tuesday also, a little bit after that at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, is the Final Fantasy XIV casual rating. And then following that on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern is the Final Fantasy XIV Fun Night, where there's just random stuff happens. But that's stuff randomly happens all the time. Over on Thursdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern is when progression rating happens on Final Fantasy XIV. And then on Fridays, ESO starts at 9 p.m. Eastern, doing all manner of fun things. And then a little later in the evening at 11 p.m. Eastern is Final Fantasy XIV's Late Night Fun Night, where even more random things happen. And then on to Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, Lord of the Rings Online has their mandatory Fun Night. Followed a little bit later at 11 p.m. Eastern by New Braid. Very, very big turnout there. They're two huge groups of people.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, that's a huge thing. They'll probably grow into 3 before we know it. And then, of course, a little bit before that is the 9:30 p.m. Eastern map nights in Final Fantasy XIV, which is also fairly active and highly recommended, especially coming with the patch.
Yep. All right. And in Guild Podcast news, good Lord, words are hard already. Guild Podcast news. SOTOR Escape Podcast 347. Returning players top 10 tips. People keep asking if you're back. Yeah, I'm thinking you're back. So, for all the returning players like you, lately we have a top 10 list of stuff you should know about SOTOR. The launch on Steam of that brought a lot of people back.
Oh, yeah.
And it also brought a lot of new players. So, in Escape Podcast 348, New Players Top 10 Tips, this round we discuss the great new player resources out there and then give you their unique spin on the top 10 tips for new players. In Working Class Nerds news, SOTOR's sit down with Sith Lord Britt. Marcus and Nick get the chance to chat with friends of the show, Sith Lord Britt. They talk about the tricky gaming situations they've had this week with COVID and rough weather challenges. Plus, they get to talk about their feelings on the newest SOTOR livestream roadmap and SOTOR's new availability on Steam. And in the Fleet Action Report Episode 3, Alien Creator... Well, Greebog botches the audio, so you just hear Greebog and unfortunately not Nick Codius, even though he said so many things, possibly even things that may save the world.
Oh, that
Darn.
is.
I know.
I do want to point out that this is actually now where the Escape Podcast surpasses AIE in episodes.
Yep.
Because they're about to hit 349 next week, which is our current episode, and they go weekly. So congratulations, Max and Sima. You finally won that race we've been having for the longest time.
Yeah. And I was right, because I think Sima asked last year when they'd catch up, and I said it was August of this year. So.
Yep, definitely. All right. In a Nomads news, Division 2, Ubisoft is currently having their co-op sale that's featuring up to 80% off multiplayer games. That includes Division 2, which is currently 70 or 67% off. Season 2, Keener's Legacy continues with a new Manhunt target this week with double XP bonus for both your season and S8D progression this week for the first 15 levels. The status of the game streams returns this week as well. A few folks have been getting online and running into missions together. Kudos to Deathode, Albus Pure, and AIP70 for their virtual streets of DC and NYC clean. Keeping the virtual streets of DC and NYC clean. Hey, I can read. All right, and Diablo 3 news. Season 21, the trial in Tempest continues. A few folks have jumped into Sanctuary once more. Have a peek at the BattleNet app for friends that might be playing. Feel free to shout out to Rona, Linnaeus, or Duras to help power level if you want to get in on the fun. So, Duras, if you see him online, Rhoda or Linnaeus, go ahead and give them a tap. They can give you a hand.
I can help too.
Hey! I can help as well. All right. Diablo 4's next quarterly update is still out is still a few months off, but if you're not caught up on the news from June update, check out the Blizzard website. There is a update for Diablo 4, and there's also on the Diablo blog. There is Immortal news. At the playtest or milestone is 9. Those links, of course, are in the show notes. And, of course, in Destiny 2, tomorrow begins the annual tradition of honoring the Guardians and their accomplishments, called the Solstice of Heroes. Rewards this year will include a rare armor set and ornamental effects that you can earn by completing objectives during the event. There is a
Words are hard.
Bungie.
Easy for you to say.
I know. Check out this week at Bungie for more details. Of course, links in the show note. And welcome to the 6 new additional clans for on both Steam and Xbox who have joined in the last few months. Make sure to reach out to one another in public Discord to arrange clan activities.
I'm seeing a lot of games popping up on Steam lately. It's interesting.
I know.
Yeah, it's like the gate has swinged away and then swinging back to Steam, and everyone's back in. Alrighty. In WoW Classic news, the gates of Encourage are now open. The Vanilla Sunday Fun Day, that's what I was trying to think of. Vanilla Sunday Fun Day. Events in WoW Classic during the AIE Guild Summer of Love event were great. We had a nice turnout of both at the start and end of the event. Raid nights with the United Orgrimmar team continues to be awesome. Yesterday they cleared Molten Core and finished a full clear of AQ20. The schedule for Molten Core has moved to Saturdays so that there'd be more time devoted to Blackwing Lair on Sundays. If you're interested in raiding, let them know, and they'll help guide you in the right direction. And as of today, Sunday, August 9th, Greenwall is now active in WoW Classic. Our goal was to make communication easier with our friends in United Orgrimmar and another small guild called For the Birds during raid nights and various other activities through the week. Make sure you download the Greenwall add-on for WoW Classic, because you have to actually tell it to switch to WoW Classic. So you can see the combined conversation. Otherwise, you only see about a third of what's being said now, and you don't want to miss out. A friendly reminder that the main guild chat is still considered family-friendly, so please be respectful to everyone. Yep. And, of course, a huge thanks to that Tetsemi person for working behind the scenes with Nevermore and Koma from UO to get everything up and running today. If you're interested in creating a character with AIE Guild and WoW Classic, we play Horde on the Paggle PvE realm. Once you make your character, jump into the LFO channel in Discord and request a guild invite. Hope to see you in game soon. Signed, GM Nevermore.
Yep, that was fun.
Yeah, and the gates has been pretty interesting. I heard that the fastest was 16 hours to get the gates open. That was a realm that was ready to go.
Yeah, they had all the supplies stored and ready to go, and it was just the process of turning it in.
Yeah. Of course, because you're in Classic, which has a lot less of those niceties to help you with that sort of thing.
Like
less bank space. Yeah.
There's less
Field
quality
banks.
of life improvements.
Yep.
And then I hear that the PvP realms were having a harder time, of course, because they were, trying to stop each other from opening it. So that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But it was definitely fun to watch all that re-happen again for the first time.
Exactly. All right. And in retail WoW or live WoW or WoW now or whatever.
Something.
Alliance Raid Hell Froze Over had 16 people joined for Ny'alotha, and they got Heroic Wrathion down, took a couple shots at Heroic Mott to take a look at the fight. They continued their saved normal lockout and got Vexiona and Carapace down before calling it a night. They raid on Friday nights from 8 to 11 Eastern and welcome anyone who would like to join them, even if they are cross-realm. Guild invites keep rolling, and they are at 460 members, even with the beta out, and they have 10 to 15 people on at a given time on the Alliance side. Saturday, Gusty and Fezgig did the Summer of Love Battle Pet event and started on the Alliance side, gave out a few pets, did several hidden pet quests, and then moved over to the Horde side for a few more hours and had pretty good response to pet giveaway in the guild. And again, we're able to do some hidden quest chains to set up pet vendors that people didn't realize are there. Gusty Tail will share the highlights probably next week of the evening. And there was a pretty cool opportunity that a special someone, identity has not been revealed, allowed us to do with 1 million gold. There's a pet, chicken, I think it is, that you don't pay the 1 million gold, but you have to go to the vendor and have 1 million gold on you to be able to purchase the pet.
Oh, okay.
So what they did was they basically just passed around 1 million
money
gold
around.
in the party. They did this a couple weeks ago for another in-game event, and everything went well. So, all in all, I think a lot of pets went to good foster homes. And a shout out to Cyrene. Fezgig now has a full team of Anakoa chickens at level 1 to battle your team of left sharks.
What? All right, and in SOTOR news, last week SOTOR jumped into Steam like everyone else, and because of that, it's a great time to jump back into the game or try it out for the first time. There's a lot of players doing that. Content creators in general have been covering all the stuff you need to know as new players and returning ones. If you want to check out SOTOR, jump into the AIE Discord and say hi. We have guilds on both the pub and the imp side on the Starforge server. And of course, if you're looking for information about SOTOR, as mentioned above, our buddies over at the Escape Podcast and Working Class Nerds have you covered. Narshadar Nightlife is ongoing with lots of guildies reporting in to have won big prizes. Apparently, it's not impossible. The event goes through August 25th. During our Summer of Love MFN, we went to the guild stronghold on Reese for some impromptu hut ball, then toward the galaxy killing world bosses. We ended the evening with a mount giveaway where everyone who attended was able to choose from a special event tabs in the guild bank. Thank you to everyone who donated prizes. On Friday, Mailung's Flashpoint Friday event started out with a costume contest, and everyone who competed got to choose 2 outfits from the many that had been donated to the guild. Then they went and did some master mode flashpoints that maybe they shouldn't have, which still made it fun because even when you're dying, failing miserably, it's still a good time when you're with friends. Special note to let everyone know that the newest edition of B. Kavanaugh's Conquest Calculator is available. It's a tool you can use to plan and track your conquest activities. Check Discord to find the link. I'm going to assume that's probably in the SOTOR channel.
And over in ESO's Mandatory Fun Night event on Friday was called House Hunters Tamriel Edition. They spent the evening showing off some of the personal homes in game. Several of our members proved once again that they are amazing decorators. Sky's Summer of Love themed house was outstanding, and the attention to detail was amazing. Vor's library of floating books and neat display of items obtained by the Antiquities skill made it a home that a mage would aspire to reside in. Lucy, Shimmer, and Kelsier also opened their homes for our tour. If you want to check out all the houses we visited, the video is on Dankinia's Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Dankinia, and will go on the AIE YouTube channel as soon as well.
All right. And just a reminder, STO's Summer of Love event will be and is running the Risa event as of 21 minutes ago. They are still going. So hang out on the beach, build a sandcastle, and tour the island. They look forward to seeing everyone.
And in LOTOR news, last night, fun was had and prizes were given out during the search and rescue event. If you missed it, don't worry, it will be coming around again. Don't forget, if you have not claimed your free quest packs, to do so before the end of the month using the code LOTRO free quests in the LOTRO store. Expansion quest packs are also still available for 99 LP through the end of the month. This does not include the Mordor and Minas Morgul, though. Rohan housing is live, and AIE has started to take over one of the neighborhoods. Well, of course we have.
That's what we do.
It's LOTOR, so there are rumors that they'll be getting the band back together.
Yep.
Alrighty, after all that short news break, let's get back to even more Final Fantasy XIV with Abavan and Durist.
Pray return to the Waking Stones.
Oh, don't get me started with Minophilia. Well,
even though she has a link shell, which is like the world's greatest cell phone, she still has to call you in person.
oh, by the way,
Wow.
I should have told you this while I link shelled you while you were over there. But could you go back there and pick up this other thing and bring
Yeah.
it back to me?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm here. Is there anything else you want
Else
me
you
to
want?
get?
No.
Hopefully, a lot of that is cleaned up with.
Yes.
Pat coming.
Yes, I'll mention that here in a second. I'm just going to go ahead and start. Abbo's got more nitty gritty. If you guys have anything you want to call out specifically about the patch stuff, the big news is the patch. But before we hit that, if you have not played Final Fantasy, it does have a free trial. I think Makala is currently doing that. So the good news with the free trial effective with the new patch is that it's now going to include all the content through A Realm Reborn and Heavensward, the first expansion. And that means you'll also get to try out Dark Knight, Machinist, and Astrologian. So that'll be which basically means now you've got everything but Samurai and
Samurai
what was the
Ninja
other one in
Dancer,
Stormblood?
right?
Red Mage.
Oh yes,
Red Mage, Samurai Red Mage, and Blue Mage. Well, no, Blue Mage is in. I mean, that's technically a Realm Reborn. Level cap is going to be raised to 60, so they're not going to cap you lower than 60 now. So now you can play all the jobs up to 60. Deep dungeons, which are sort of their, it's not. Well, it is kind of procedurally based, right?
Yeah, it's a
dungeon
roguelike.
generation, virtual dungeon, way to level your alternate jobs and whatnot. They're now giving you full access to Palace of the Dead up to floor 200. So
Awesome.
it's basically all of ARR and
It
Heaven's
is.
Word is just right there for you.
Put it into WoW terms. Put in the WoW terms here, so you're getting all of the vanilla game and all of the Burning Crusade, like for no financial commitment at all.
Yeah.
You just download the thing and poof, you're in.
Yeah.
And the ARR leveling process they redid. We'll talk about that but it's much better. It flows better.
Now that's the patch.
Yep.
Because one of the I'll talk about that specifically when I get to that highlight. But 5.3, the patch, is technically live Tuesday or late tomorrow, because tonight at 3 a.m. Eastern, all the worlds go down. They're doing the update. So 24 hours is what they're saying. Though if you're bored and have nothing better to do, watch their Twitter feed. They often finish early. But since this is such a major update, don't hold your breath. It may actually be more than 24 hours. We'll see.
And it's also the first big patch, I think, since COVID.
Yes.
So
Yep.
This is
exactly.
completely from home. These guys are all VPNing in and trying to get things to work.
Yeah, it got delayed 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Wow.
And Yoshi P has been apologetic, but but I think we all get it, right?
Yeah.
As many of us have also been working remotely since about March. It's harder to get things done, especially large team projects with many moving parts. But they, it'll be a feat if they pull it off. I'm rooting for them. But in the show notes, there'll be the 5.3 special site link that you can go to get sort of like the nice pictures and videos of all the new features and events coming. And also a link to the specific preliminary patch notes, which will be updated to the published patch notes once the patch is live.
There's always a change. There's always something.
There are always
something.
Yeah.
Oh my God! They didn't tell us that. That is so awesome. In every major patch that comes through, that comes in the real patch notes.
Yeah, they
So-
send
And-
something in.
Our chat always on every patch, the Final Fantasy FFXIV channel in our Discord always blows up when we find that little nugget of fun.
Yeah.
So
But
pay
that's
attention
also
to that.
balanced.
It's good times.
It's
Even if you
also
don't play the game,
balanced
it's a
with
good time.
It's also balanced with oh, by the way, this just totally didn't work. Maybe in 5.31.
Yeah.
Okay. Normal.
But that happens. So 24-hour maintenance starting tonight at 3 a.m. Eastern. What they're the highlights of stuff that's going to be in the patch is the MSQ, the main scenario quest line, is being updated, and it's the new theme, the new content's called the Reflections in Crystal. They're introducing a new dungeon. I'm not going to tell you specifics about the story, but needless to say, things are getting a little dicey. Spoilers ahead.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be wrapping up the Shadowbringers story arc,
Wrapping
and
up.
Yes.
wrapping up. But wrapping up is like a Marvel movie wrapping up.
Yes.
There's always
Got it.
something.
And bear in mind, elements of that story have seeds way back in the very beginning of the game. So I mean, it is an epic saga, literally.
Yep.
They're
you can
introducing a
tell-
new. What, Moo?
I was going to say that you can tell about the whole seeds thing because like they're requiring, I think now
Yes.
that you do the Crystal Tower.
Yep.
Like that's just telling you like just
Yes.
how far back this is going. Like they're saying, okay, we know it was optional before. Now you got to do it.
Yeah.
Because it ties into the current story, and new players who have not opted, or even old players who didn't opt into that and just didn't do it at all,
Yeah.
are missing out on those story elements. So it's important to the story now.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, the whole expansion stems from that story.
Yeah.
The current
Yeah.
expansion.
And I think one of the funniest requirements that I saw on the patch list notes. Let me see. Let me make sure I'm not stealing your thunder. I don't see it mentioned.
Okay.
Okay. So one of the requirements is, by the way, you need to do the Mount Quest.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
So what poor schmucks are out there without a mount that have gone all the way through the game?
Yeah.
That somehow didn't get their mount. Like they're still running around by foot, like trying to do everything.
I don't think it's even possible because I mean there's certain zones in Heavensward, without spoiling anything, but it requires flying.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and there is. I mean, I guess if you find a way to get there, there is the porters. So maybe you get around with porters. Maybe there's like someone.
Yeah.
Maybe you had someone with the car to lug you around.
Or
Yeah,
the FC
Suffice
just
to say, though, if you're past level 30, not only should you have the mount, you should also have it unlocked as a companion that you can
Yes.
bring out as a combat, a combat companion.
Yep.
So, new dungeon called the Hero's Gauntlet, a new trial called the Mystery Trial. It's a mystery.
Ooh.
my
And
favorite.
the follow-up to the Near Automata raid called the Puppet's
Yay.
Bunker. So if you like 2P,
Oh
not
yeah.
to be confused with 2B,
No.
Yep.
she'll be back, and you'll be running that raid with her. New custom deliveries, new Beast Tribe quests.
Okay, so it's
If
both.
you want to
Got
call
it.
them
Okay.
dwarves, right? They're Lalas with a bearded helmet.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah, they are.
oh well, that's a bit of a spoiler. But if you've not played Shadowbringers yet, it's,
Oops.
but Realm Reborn Overhaul. This is the big thing. Remember back in WoW when they had flying, like in Burning Crusade or one of the later
Yes.
expansions, but the original skyboxed sort of flat, kludgy, original vanilla classic WoW. They're like, you can't fly here because we did so many tricks. It's not really 3D.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
All right. Well, here's Final Fantasy's comeuppance. They are now allowing flight in a Realm Reborn, which basically means you will now be able to fly in every zone in the game.
Yay.
And I think that's probably a big portion of why it took them so long to get things done. Is
Yeah.
because I was there for when WoW switched over to flight, and I was able to see it beforehand, and it was hideous from the air. Was that you weren't supposed to be up there.
Yeah,
Yep.
if you've ever seen like a movie studio where you're walking down a street and you're on the street and you see the facade of the building, and then you go out to a wide angle shot and you see it's just a wall with like supports behind it and all the
Mhm.
that's essentially what WoW and probably ARR were. They only drew in what you could see from the ground or from where you're supposed to be in the game, and anything else was a facade.
Yeah, because back then they were trying to support the PS3, so they had to do whatever tricks they could so that PS3 could still render the whole zone, because they didn't want the nightmare that was Final Fantasy 1.0, where you had to render the entire game at once, and
Yeah.
Now that's kind of like a nostalgic, like in a hey cool. But the actual best part about the overhaul to a Realm Reborn is one of the things that is a huge stepping stone and barrier to entry for new players, because there was such a length of time between a Realm Reborn and the first Heavensward expansion, they kept introducing content and content and content. So there was a huge slog of content you had to go through before you could even start the main story of Heavensward.
Yeah, it was 100 quests, wasn't it?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, at least it was over
like
100.
ARR ended, and then post ARR was like 100 quests, and then you could get into ARR or Heavensward.
Heavensward,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just hitting the level cap and say, okay, I'm going to go to the next continent, and poof, I'm in the new expansion. It's the way Final Fantasy does it is it's plot based. You have to go through enough quests to allow someone to let you do a thing to actually cross that thing. I'm being very vague here and saying thing a lot because I don't want to spoil it for anyone. But you have to do the thing to be able to get to the thing. It's not just level. Oh, I'm level 60. Here I am. It doesn't work that way.
It's gated. All their content in the game is gated behind the MSQ.
Right.
And those are the quests that have the little meteor that look like little meteors rather than the normal exclamation points, that you would see on quest.
Yeah.
And then there's optional quests. Some of those optional quests are now required, like we mentioned earlier with the Crystal Tower. But that is sort of like I think one of the big ticket items for the coming patch. Now, there are a couple of other things, and this is typical for them to do, where they tease stuff that's coming that just didn't quite make it, wasn't quite ready to get into the major patch, like the Ishgardian Restoration, which people have been eyeing carefully because the rumor is, and this bears true from past experience, that whenever you have these restoration events, often, well, at least one other time, that zone then becomes the new housing area. So everyone is looking forward to Ishgard finally being available as a housing area because housing is intentionally scarce in this game to make it feel special.
Right.
So that's going to be coming, the new restoration event, which is going to be opening the commercial district of the Ishgard restoration area, is coming in 5.3.1. So that'll probably be a month or two, again, COVID, after 5.3 hits. And if you've been keeping up, like Moo mentioned earlier, he's been working on his weapon quests and stuff. There's this resistance weapon, which is not to be confused, but sort of the same as the relic weapon. Save the Queen, Blades of Gunhilder. So they're continuing it. I think the last one, fact check me here, guys. It was, you get the basic statted weapon. But the way they do this is you grow that weapon. That weapon scales and grows with you as you continue along that quest line. So basically, So basically, this will unlock even more cooler things about your weapon.
Yeah,
and
the weapon was good by itself, by the way. I mean,
So it's very good. Now, is it better than the stuff you can get from raiding? No, but it wasn't designed to be.
It will grow with you. It will grow with you, and. This next patch is they sort of learn a couple things from previous, because each expansion had their own relics. So the last one you had to go through a zone called Eureka, which you loved it or hated it. There really wasn't a middle ground. And then previous ones there were also a dungeon or a hunting slog. So what we're going to be doing in this new patch is you have a choice. There's going to be a zone that you can use to level it up, or you can go through and I believe it's leveling through dungeons here. I'm looking for the patch note that talks about it. But there's a choice the way you level it up. You don't have to do everything through this one singular path. So that's going to be fun. And
options.
Yes. And even if you don't want to level your resistance weapon through that new zone, you may still want to dip your toes into there, because that you can get into at level 70, which is where Shadowbringer starts, and level from 70 to 80 through there, because that's going to be your new leveling space. That's another alternative to leveling
for
your all jobs.
Your main job.
Yeah.
And all that'll be in the patch notes. We don't want this to be a 2-hour episode, right?
No.
And the last thing with the upcoming patch is in 5.3.5. That's when the resistance weapon's coming. So we're looking probably 4 to 5 months from now.
Yeah.
They're also going to, for the PvP lovers, which they revamped a little while ago, there's going to be a new battlefield map as well.
Yay.
And
For those who don't like PvP, give it a try here because you get the same PvE rewards, win or lose.
Oh, okay.
So it's good. It's like doing like another dungeon worth of of the high end
XP
token
and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, for leveling purposes or for end game stuff. Like that's in my normal.
Roulette.
I need
Yeah.
but no rotation because it doesn't. If I go in and be a tryhard and try to win, great. If I go in and I do the Mandeville dance at all the capture points, I still get the same rewards.
Yeah.
Fun for everyone.
Exactly.
Don't do it. It's a trap.
You
No,
can have a
it's
pizza.
actually fun.
Cool. So that's
You can have a pizza while you're doing it.
yeah. Well, and
So
we'll
that's
have
the
links
patch.
to the patch notes and stuff like that. But Abbo, what are we doing now?
Oh, we're on a podcast.
Yeah,
And-
about
dang.
Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, thank you. Try to feel. All right. So, for those who are listening to us in some other fashion here, we are wrapping up our Summer of Love event within AIE, where each game has done something something special, something out of the ordinary, and here in Final Fantasy we actually had the great glamour contest, which was a come as you are and whatever glamour sets you happen to have, and we had a bunch of different categories for a bunch of different people to come up with some fun outfits and interesting outfits based off of a bunch of different categories. We will be giving out some. We'll be sending out the prizes for those shortly. I just have to go through and and send them out. I got a list of people here, but we have such categories such as outfits that were totally ready for battle, and then we had another category totally not ready for battle, and then we had a best casual outfit, and then the totally not comfortable outfit, and then we
my
got,
wardrobe.
and then we had the will stop traffic outfit, and finally
Yeah,
we also
do
had
we have screenshots of these?
Yes.
we have the video on my channel that I'm going to be uploading to the AIE YouTube channel shortly.
Yeah.
I just have to sit down and do it. And then obviously we have the overall best glamour, and we have prizes to give away to all those people, and we're also going to be giving away prizes to everyone who attended the night. So we do appreciate everyone's attendance to our Summer of Love in Final Fantasy.
So did Kelsier show up in a toga for the stop traffic one?
Kelsier was ineligible for prizes because he was an officer, and he was helping me judge.
Oh,
Okay, that makes sense. So he could wear whatever he wanted.
I mean,
Got it.
come on,
Like
a
that's going to
Hrothgar
stop
in a
Kelsier
toga?
from dressing up, though. I
Right,
mean,
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry?
I mean, if the judges in American Got Talent got to actually perform, I think they would school everybody.
There you go.
All right, it doesn't. So we have to, and it was really just our opinions, because
Right.
there really wasn't a public voting period because that
Yeah.
sucks. It's our opinions, but that's why we're going to give prizes to everyone who showed up.
Exactly.
Because so that I thank you for everyone who for being here. What other else we have going on? Nearly every week, we do have map nights. For those who are uninitiated, map night is a game mechanic within Final Fantasy, which you go, via some means. Either you purchase one or you get one through mining or something. You get a treasure map, and the treasure map allows you open it up, and then it gives you a little snippet of a map. You have to go find the treasure. You find the treasure. You open it up. Some mobs come out. You smack the mobs around,
Get the crap
and then
out
you
of
get
them.
some stuff.
Yep.
You could, and then if you're lucky, and we run around like 25% ish, depending on the night. A portal pops up, and that's like a loot zone. You go into the loot zone, and then you can get more treasure. You can get even more treasure, and they've been, and then you open up the door. It's almost like a let's make a deal. You can take this door, or you can take that door. Sometimes the treasure turns into a high-low game.
Yep.
It draws a card. You can take this, or you can gamble and then get double or nothing. And so that's kind of fun. And you get some rare, unique items that people pay good money for on the market boards within Final Fantasy. So it's a great way to make some money off of that. It's a lot of fun. It's not hard content. It's pretty straightforward. You don't need like super high in DPS. Pretty much be level 70 and have all the zones unlocked, and you can run with us with that. Sometimes we do like levels. We do level 70 stuff versus level 80, which is the cap. We do 70s, so we get some more people who are still leveling a chance to jump on in. Some of those items still sell decently well.
Yep.
The patch that comes out on Tuesday is going to add new items to the map nights, so that's going to really make those maps very interesting.
Yep.
And much more valuable to do.
Yeah. The big thing about those maps for each of the different expansions is that typically the really important or expensive craftable stuff, the materials come straight from there.
Yep.
That's why they're still valuable. That's why you still go back to 70. Like if you want to get gear that was made back then, and this is cosmetic gear. This isn't like stat gear, but it's like it's the prettiest, or it's the most epic, or it's something that's a casual that you wouldn't expect to see in this world. Like it's that kind of stuff that everybody wants that. So yeah, that's why it's such a big deal.
Right, and as we found out through any game who added cosmetic gears, people will pay through the nose for to look cool.
Yeah. Well, especially if it, you can wear it but still have the same, item level or whatever as the top gear, but you want a certain look. Oh yeah.
Yep.
We have some
why they call the true end game of Final Fantasy Final Fashion.
Exactly.
Yes.
It absolutely
even
is.
to the point where there's an NPC every week that will judge you on what you're wearing.
Yes.
Yep.
And,
there is a
give you
fashion
reward.
report.
Yep. Yes, fashion report.
So that's always a great way to get the golden saucer points.
Yep.
To get other pretty things. like I'm saving up for a glowing cactuar mount. To use solely in PvP to show everyone, hey, here I am.
Exactly. Look at me.
See me from 3 miles away.
That's right.
Pretty much. But Final Fantasy also does have traditional in-game stuff as well. There is like actual raids to do. Go out, find bad guy, kill bad guy, take his loot. Be the hero that you should be by invading someone's house and taking their stuff.
Right.
Yep.
And that's raiding because we're heroes. We're heroes. There's we have been trying to get some Tuesday, Thursday stuff going on. For people who are interested in that sort of stuff. I know that a couple of us have been running with another a static from people from various servers in our data center here. But if you want to get involved with that, let us know. We'll try to get you involved with that. If we can get a whole group going within AIE, that'll be super awesome as well. But that is something that we do. We do have it on the weekly calendar that we do want to try to get that going. So please let us know on that. No experience necessary. Don't be scared.
No.
Do not be scared. Yeah.
And that's the big thing about Final Fantasy 14 is people always go, "Oh, I don't like to run dungeons in WoW because people are always mean and stuff like that." It's a complete 180. You get into a dungeon, you get into a raid, even if you don't know what you're doing, if you just say, "Hi, I'm new here, this is my first time," people will stop and take time to tell you, what needs to get done. Even on, I found the roulette for Crystal Tower. If you get the first Crystal Tower, it's like 15 minutes, 8 bosses done, you're out of there. It's but people will still pause while they're running between killing bosses to explain the next boss and go, hey, just look for this mechanic, or just, you're in group A of the 3 groups, you focus just on this, don't worry about everything else, and it goes well. So
people actually talk to you. It's funny. Pleasantly.
I mean, even if you join like a pug group, like someone's advertising in the party finder, which is like it's almost just like an advertisement listing to see who's running what,
like
they'll
an
put in there
advertised LFG.
Yes.
Yeah, something like that. They'll say in their description saying, learning party.
Yeah.
where you go in, and their specific purpose is to teach certain encounters at a high level that you can't get matched to automatically.
Yeah.
And that's sort of the kind of thing that we sort of want to introduce to people who want to dip their toes into the raiding world, but they haven't done that. To say you may or may not have watched the video or something like that. Cool. Here is the encounter. We will teach you this thing because if we add people to the pool, it helps everybody.
Yeah.
If we add people to my little
Totally.
network of people that I know that are here and there that I can call on because I know that these people here, it only helps. That only helps the greater raiding community.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
So if you want involved, let us know and we can introduce you to this sort of stuff and get you involved in that sort of thing.
Final Fantasy community in general. I mean, take a beat and just shelve your experiences from other games. It's hands down the most courteous and welcoming community of people in an MMO I have ever seen.
Yeah.
Now that's not to say there aren't
Not everyone.
exceptions of people
Oh,
that are
yeah.
triggered over little innocuous things, but I mean, you're always going to
Sure.
have that.
Yeah.
That's part of.
They
unfortunately,
also
people.
tend to get shouted down very quickly by the other people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially with the new 24-player
Yes.
raid coming in, which I never found the
Everyone will be
24 player
learning.
stuff. Yeah, they'll be learning. They're complicated, but they're forgiving. But I would say coming from a WoW-ish background, and Tetsu, and Mew, you play a little more WoW than I do. It's harder than the LFR difficulty, but not as hard as normal difficulty. That's always how I've expressed it. What do you guys think about using that analogy in WoW terms?
I'd say because of the community and the way the game plays, I'd say it's actually easier than LFR for the most part. There are certain ones like you get to, I forget, the ship with the manta ray on it, and it's going to drop 2 crystals, and you have like half a second to move behind the crystal, you get blown off the deck. There's insta wipes like the first boss on some things, but everything else, like most of Final Fantasy, if you're not doing extreme or the high-end stuff, there's generally enough, like, here's a game mechanic, don't be in it, you have enough time to move out of it. So
Yeah.
I think
Clearly
it's
telegraphed.
actually,
You have time. Yeah.
I think it's actually easier than WoW's LFR, because a lot of time in WoW's LFR, you're just solely focused on, I'm going to zerg this down and ignore all the mechanics. Final Fantasy makes you pay attention to the mechanics or you wipe, but it also telegraphs the mechanics so you know what to look for better.
Yeah, and if you do wipe, you get stacks of echo, which is similar to determination in WoW.
Yeah.
And then the final bit of it too is that every dungeon, every raid, every instance has a timer on it.
Yeah.
So there is a point where the game will even say, you know what, you guys have been beating your heads against this too long. Go ahead and call it quits. Start again later.
Kind of
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, and it's not like super short. It's not like a timer that you have to worry about. Like it's nowhere near that. But like if you've been beating your head against this raid boss in this group of strangers for too long, and you're too polite to say, we can't handle this, let's give up, the game will do that for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
okay, maybe get a little, maybe
And-
there's something else.
Get
And
some
unlimited reses sort of help too. Now,
Yes.
I say that on normal modes and 24-man modes. It's still technically true on Savage and Ultimate stuff.
But you
Normally you won't hit the enrage timer by then, or you won't be able to do the mechanic that has enough people to stand into certain places, or you lose your battle buddy, or you don't break the staff, or
Yeah.
unlike
or
the WoW res, because it's unlimited, when you are rezzed, there is a weakness.
Yes.
So
Right.
that's
how
a change, and they're changing that in the patch. You're actually going to be. You're still going to have the weakness, but you're actually going to know exactly how long it lasts now.
Nice.
Yeah, there'll be a little
gonna
timer
be
on the debuff.
Oh, and the other thing too is they also are timing the invulnerability, I think.
Yes.
So you know just how long you're invulnerable, because that's one of the things when you're rezzed in a battle for an unknown time. As long as you don't engage with the boss,
do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you don't do anything, you won't be wiped out by the AOE. It kind of gives you a little buffer.
Oh,
Or
nice.
someone
Unless
reses
it's
you.
a limit break.
Yeah.
Unless it's a limit break res, in which case all bets are off.
Yeah.
But now there'll be a clear visual indicator of whether or not you're invulnerable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or someone. My personal favorite is someone reses you inside of a death puddle, like the death, like the death bacon.
Yeah.
Death bacon, we like to call it. Don't stand in the bacon.
So floppy bacon, got it.
Yes.
Yes, it will kill you.
Yeah.
It's the bad bacon.
All right.
Now,
so,
to be clear though, I mean, there's a large scope of difficulty.
Yeah.
Like you heard him mention extreme and ultimate. Extreme, even if you are practiced with people who you play with regularly, it's doable easily.
Yeah.
You start getting into the ultimate stuff, that gets hard.
Yeah.
Ultimate
Mythic.
Ultimate is hard.
Yeah.
Well, no, ultimate is what Mythic players do if they want a challenge.
Yes.
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 Because it is split second timing on everything.
Split second
And the
timing.
network latency is unforgiving.
Yes.
Yeah.
That and the reward is just a cosmetic. There is no gear increase, like item level or anything else. It's just a prettier thing than everyone else can get.
It's bragging rights.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's how
And
it should
it's
be.
tuned, and it's retuned and item level synced, so it will. You can even go in with better gear, and you'll be synced down to what it was when it came out. So the challenge is intact as you go.
Yep.
Yep.
But speaking of the greater community, what about the AIE community?
I was going there. So 5 minutes or less. So I did want to actually, because this has been coming up quite a bit, with a lot. We've been getting a lot of new people to the game,
Which is
so
nice.
a lot of them don't understand how the ranking structure and who's who actually in the guild. How do you get promoted? Essentially, leadership in the free company. You've got Abo as the director. He's the blue sky guy. You've got the officers, the actual game officers, which you'll see are FFXIV officers. These are the guys that have been playing the game forever, have been there as officers forever. But when we, a few years ago now, introduced this concept of community officers, because the gaming landscape is huge. Everyone plays every game now.
Right.
We have people who know the AIE community, right? That's these guys I'm with here, several of you who are listening. If you see someone that's an AIE officer, that means they're an officer in the community in other games. So if you've got a question about community, or want to talk to someone about just AIE in general, these guys got your back. They know what's what as well. Now, the actual membership, you will see our home and garden ranks, right? You'll see our garden managers, which actually these are the guys like Lil and who else? There's someone else that also regularly maintains the gardens. If they are a garden manager, they're a member just like you. The only difference is they have some extra rights to do stuff with the gardens, and we don't want to open that up to everyone, because hybridization in the gardens and growing specific things can be a very easily step on someone's toes kind of thing.
Sense.
So we just let them kind of manage that on our own. We currently don't have any house managers. At one time, we did have people who were just fantastic interior decorators, and they did that. They were officers anyway. So the housing manager stuff really hasn't meant anything for a while, which brings us down to everyone, basically the members. There's a member role called member, and essentially you can do everything you need to do, from executing company actions to inviting other players. When you invite other players, they come in at a prospect rank.
Okay.
The prospect rank is kind of like the, warm, fuzzy, protect ourselves, but yet let people come in and experience the game with us. They have, I think, visibility into the first tab of the bank. You're welcome to grab stuff out of the free company bank and give it to people as needed, but we just don't want people getting invites and then clearing out the bank.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Now-
Same thing, same thing, old WoW.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, by the same token, all you guys who do have access to the free company bank, please take stuff out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, please don't put silly. You may be
Left
things
sharks.
that you think are useful, but we don't need any left sharks or anything like that.
We don't need the troll sweat equivalent, or else I'll stick sojo on you.
Yeah.
No
Right.
milk. No glasses of milk. No left sharks. Got it.
Correct.
Yep.
Exactly. Now, how do you get promoted from a prospect to a full member? Essentially, we a while ago determined, all right, it takes you maybe about 3 months of playing with people to kind of figure out what AIE is, who they are, how to play nice with people. So we go through and review the list every other month, since it's a 3-month probation period. And then we will just promote people who aren't idle for more than like 30 days.
Yeah.
Because, if you logged in once and then went AFK for a whole month, then you're not really around. So we just wait until we see you've been active. And we do know your invite date, so we will know. That being said, if you are a member in another AIE game, let us know, because we'll just promote you to member right away. You don't have to wait, because AIE, you know us. It's fine.
Yeah.
The last rank you might see is the Emeritus rank. These are people who we don't know, about. It's like maybe they were members, maybe they were officers, but 386 days idle. We could kick them, but in Final Fantasy, if you remove someone from the free company, they lose their apartment or their room in the free company house, and we don't want to do that to anyone. And because we're not expecting to get 500 people join. I mean, it'd be great if we did, and then we would have to kick them. But in the meantime, we leave them down to Emeritus, just so we know that they're woefully idle. We don't have to look at them for promotions or anything. But if they do come back, then we can flip them back to member. These are guys that were at one point a member or officer. So that's how we know that they weren't prospects.
Yep.
Other than that, I mean, invite people, have fun, get involved. Please use free company chat.
Yes.
I will sometimes intentionally sit there for hours and just see has logged in, has logged out, has logged in, has logged out, has logged out,
Say
has
hello.
logged out, has logged in.
Right.
Say hello to each other.
Yes.
Today I can't. Zoot. Hey Zoot, I think you're watching too. I saw your name.
He's
Zoot
in
was
there,
like, "Hey, does anyone need help with anything? And then like 10 minutes later, I'm like, "Oh, hi Zoot. By the way, hi. Yeah, I did see you there."
Yeah.
A lot of times it is really hard. To be fair, the reason this happens a lot is it's really hard to stay focused. That screen will scroll
Also,
like nuts.
cutscenes.
If you're in instances or duties or cutscenes, you may not even see it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, it auto hides it whenever you do a cutscene. So a lot of the times, especially if you're doing MSQ,
Yeah.
it disappears.
And the other thing is, Final Fantasy, if you lurk or spy on Discord but don't really join a lot, you will see, aside from the huge nights like Saturday night where we see New Braid, every single night there's like a dozen or at least 5 people in voice in Discord that are in the Final
And they're
Fantasy
just
channel.
hanging out.
Yeah, and they literally, I mean, it's a very voice-driven, Discord-driven community in Final Fantasy. Don't hesitate to drop in there. If you see like a dozen people, drop in anyway. Odds are 6 or 7 of them aren't even there, really. They'll eventually shuttle down to the AFK channel. But yeah, pop in, say hi. Let us know who you are.
Minara says, come in. They don't bite much.
Right.
Yeah, a little bit.
Much.
Oh, and there are cookies.
The Lalafell are ankle biters, though.
God,
Be careful.
They're worst.
But only the Mooncats have fangs, so you don't have to worry about those.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
And the other thing to kind of watch out for, and I think this gets called out mostly in the AIE Discord or channel, in the content creators channel. When one of us are streaming, Abo streams, I stream. We have a few other streamers, a few people who do Final Fantasy as well, but haven't been so regular about it. If you just want to see what the game is, let us know. We'll even just stream it for you in Discord if you want. That way it doesn't have to involve Twitch at all.
Yeah, Discord's really easy.
Especially when you're actually like helping someone else saying, "Hey, how do I do this thing?" It says, "Here, let me show you." Whoop, and then click. So being in Discord, being a vocal, even just saying hello or hey, I need help with something. We want to help you. We want to make you enjoy the game because We don't want you to play the game and hate every moment of it. The game is infinitely better with people.
Yep.
Yes. It's an MMO. Put the massive multiplayer back into online gaming.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But it also works the other way. If we're like, I have no idea what you're talking about, show me.
Yeah.
Then we can walk you through what you need to do.
And that's the nice thing with Discord is you don't have to have special streaming software, everything. You can just go live and share Final Fantasy 14 and go, this is what I'm talking about, and point on the screen, and you go, oh, yeah, you need to do these 10 quests, and then you can unlock that thing. So,
that's it. That's the last thing I wanted to get in about community and playing nice with each other.
All right.
Yep, and last minute advice is get
Patch
your Beast
early,
Tribe.
patch often.
Yes, patch early, patch often. Get your Beast Tribe tributes done. Get your other dailies done, because tonight's the last night, and then it's gone for 24 hours. So be ready.
Yep.
All right.
Awesome.
Sounds like that's it for it. So that'll be the show for tonight. Oh, while the chat room begins suggesting show titles, we want to thank Abovan and Duris for joining us. So thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Yes. If you have anything you want to plug, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch.
Just at
Either of you.
Abavan at the Duras. But Discord.
Yep.
Just look in Discord. It's all there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. Just ask. Discord will get us anywhere, anytime.
Exactly.
All right. And if you have any questions or comments for the show, email us at podcast@aie-guild.org. You can follow us on Twitter. The show is at AIE Podcast, and that's the best place to find out when we're going live. Mew is at the Mew Cow. I am at Cyberwave, and Tet is at Ivory Tiger. I almost said Cyberwave. Wow. But I remember what Dash was this time. We record live with video every other Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. You can join the chat room and play along with us at our website, aie-guild.org/podcast-live-stream/ and our Discord server for chat is aie-guild.org/discord. Our theme was composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at Keys with Soul or visit his website, andrewallenmusic.com.
And now it's time to play all of the great AI member segments we received this week, including, well, mailbox was empty, but we are always willing to take submissions. I know Hunts the Wind is busy hunting the wind because it's hurricane season. So hopefully we'll have something from him in a few weeks.
Yep. And next time we'll be talking to Seema and Max in SWTOR. So until then, AIE, this is Mewcow.
This is Makala.
This is Tetsemi.
And this has been the AIE Podcast.
Yay!
Done.
Done.
I like that 90-minute patch timer considering the length of the podcast, which is always a good time.
Exactly.
Okay, real quick before we stop broadcasting here. If for those listening and you want to do a podcast segment, it's not hard to do.
No.
Just put anything together and use a program called Audacity. It's free. You just download it and hit the record button, and then go blah 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 blah. Send, and you're done. It's easy to do.
Yeah.
There's even tons of
worked with the guy who made the program. It's easy.
Yep. There's plenty of Creative Commons music out there. If you need a background music, it's real easy to find. Throw it together, you're done.
Cool. All right. Well, since we're about 30 minutes longer than we normally do, but we had a ton to go through.
There's a lot of news.
Yeah.
Summer of Love.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, a couple of sets of show titles down at the bottom of the docs. You guys decide. Chat room, I'm going to cut the stream mainly because some of us do need to get out of here. So thank you for joining, and we will see you guys in 2 weeks. All right.
2
weeks.
I have no idea how to turn it. There we go. Stop streaming. 3, 2.